According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, more than 54% of Americans over the age of 65 are silently dealing with serious sleep health issues without even realizing it. On top of that, a recent report by the World Health Organization, WHO, warns that seemingly harmless bedtime habits can double the risk of stroke or heart attack at this age. A shocking statistic that truly startled me when I read it. I used to think sleep was just a time for the body to power down and recharge, until I met John, a former neighbor of mine in the suburbs of Dallas, Texas. John was the kind of person everyone wanted to be friends with. Always wearing a warm smile, sipping his black coffee every morning on the porch, and sharing stories from his days working as a car mechanic in a small garage back in the 70s. But one cold winter night, John nearly didn't wake up again, all because of a few small bedtime habits he never thought were dangerous. Today, I want to take you on a journey through John's experience with 7 nighttime habits, little things that could silently threaten your life after the age of 60. This isn't just about health. It's about whether you'll wake up to the sound of birds chirping outside your window, the scent of freshly cut grass in your backyard, or the joy of telling your grandkids one more story. Let's start with snoring, that familiar midnight symphony many older adults, including myself, see as a badge of aging. John's snoring could shake the whole neighborhood. We used to joke that his snoring was loud enough to wake up Buddy, the neighbor's dog, who slept like a rock. But as it turns out, it wasn't a laughing matter. According to the CDC, around 34% of Americans over 60 suffer from sleep apnea, a condition that causes you to stop breathing dozens, even hundreds of times during the night without realizing it. For John, his thunderous snoring and frequent gasping were not only disruptive to his rest, but also a sign that his body was severely lacking oxygen. He would often wake up with a mouth as dry as the Mojave Desert, a pounding headache like someone had hit him with a hammer, and a heavy fatigue despite spending 8 hours in bed. One morning, I went over to have coffee with him and asked, "Did you sleep well last night?" John laughed heartily and patted me on the shoulder. "I slept like a log, kid." But the truth was, he hadn't been sleeping well at all. His body was fighting to breathe every single minute. I finally convinced him to see a doctor, and just one night, using a home sleep monitor, a small wristwatch-sized device completely painless, revealed that John had severe sleep apnea. He was prescribed a CPAP machine, a small bedside device that gently blows air through the nose to keep the airway open. After a few weeks of using the machine, John invited me over, brewed coffee, and proudly said, "I haven't felt this awake since I was 50. I can remember all my grandkids' names again, no more mental fog." If you snore like a chainsaw, wake up exhausted, or keep hearing complaints from your spouse, don't ignore it. Try sleeping on your left side. It relieves pressure on your throat and helps you breathe more easily. Avoid alcohol before bed. It relaxes your muscles too much and makes snoring worse. I also recommend starting a sleep journal. Each morning, jot down how you feel: headaches, dry mouth, grogginess, and bring it to your doctor. One small test might save you from dangerous nights you never even knew were happening. Next, let's talk about jumping out of bed too quickly, a simple habit that could change your life in a split second. John once told me that he often got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom without thinking twice. One winter night, when the house was dark and the neighborhood completely still, he got up too fast. Suddenly, the room spun around like he was on a roller coaster. He collapsed onto the floor, his knees slamming hard against the wooden floorboards. Luckily, it ended with just a few bruises and scrapes. No hip fractures, no head trauma from the corner of a table. After age 60, our bodies can no longer regulate blood pressure as quickly as they once did. When you stand up suddenly from a lying position, blood doesn't reach your brain fast enough, making you dizzy or even causing you to faint. Doctors call this orthostatic hypotension. The American Geriatrics Society reports that over 36% of people over 65 fall each year, and nearly a third of those falls happen during late-night trips to the bathroom. My friend Mary from Ohio wasn't as lucky as John. She fell out of bed, broke her wrist, and had to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. It took her nearly a year before she could walk normally again. After his near fall, John changed his entire routine. He learned to sit up slowly, take a deep breath like he was meditating, and only then place his feet on the floor. He even kept a small glass of water by his bed. Sipping a few gulps before standing helped stabilize his blood pressure and avoid that lightheaded spinning. I suggested he install a few dim night lights, just $5 each from Home Depot, to light the path to the bathroom. No more fumbling in the dark. If your home has slippery hardwood or cold tiles, try wearing anti-slip slippers instead of thin socks or bare feet. They're only about $10 at Walmart and keep you safe through the night. I also recommended this simple trick. Place a small chair next to your bed so if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can steady yourself while getting up slowly. These tiny changes didn't just help John avoid falling, they gave him confidence again, helping him get up without fear. Then there's the matter of late-night snacking, a habit that seems cozy but hides more risk than you'd think. John loved nibbling on a few butter cookies and a warm glass of milk before bed, saying it made him feel at home and helped him drift into sleep. But after a routine heart checkup, his doctor warned him that eating too close to bedtime forced his heart to work overtime, increasing the chance of an irregular heartbeat, something that could stop you from waking up at all. After 60, our digestive system slows down, and a fatty midnight meal, like donuts, fries, or even a few slices of cold pizza, can cause acid reflux, leading to choking or trouble breathing during sleep. One night, I heard John coughing violently. I rushed over to find him gasping for breath, face flushed red, all because of a spoonful of peanut butter cake he'd had earlier. A study from the American Journal of Cardiology found that late-night eating increases the risk of stroke by 40% in older adults because it puts stress on your arteries when your body is supposed to be resting. I also remember Linda, a friend in Florida who was hospitalized with severe acid reflux after eating a hamburger at 10 p.m. She said it felt like someone was squeezing her throat shut. These days, John eats dinner earlier, at least 3 hours before bed, and opts for lighter meals like roasted vegetables and grilled chicken instead of fried, greasy foods. If he's hungry late at night, he'll snack on a small apple or a few spoonfuls of plain yogurt, just enough to satisfy without waking up his digestive system. I encouraged him to try a 7-day no late-night eating challenge, just jotting down how his body felt each morning, lighter, more rested, and less bloated. John nailed it, and after a week he proudly told me he'd dropped 2 pounds without even trying. Would you give it a shot? Just 7 days. You might uncover a healthier, more energized version of yourself, ready to greet the day with strength. You know, watching John change day by day, from a tired, forgetful man to a beaming, cheerful soul every morning, made me realize just how important these small things really are. If you've ever snored like a freight train, jumped out of bed too fast, or eaten something greasy before bed, hit pause and share your thoughts with me. I'm trying to build a community where we help each other stay healthy and avoid unnecessary risks. Even just a comment or subscribing to this channel helps me share this story with more people, maybe your parents, siblings, or friends. I can't do this alone, because health is not just a personal journey, it's a shared responsibility. Let's talk about hydration before bedtime, a habit that seems healthy but can cause harm. John used to think that drinking a big glass of water before lights out would keep him healthy. After all, staying hydrated is important, right? But he started waking up 3 to 4 times a night to go to the bathroom. One night, he nearly slipped on the kitchen floor, rushing in the dark. After age 60, our bladder becomes more sensitive and the kidneys slow down, processing fluids less efficiently. Drinking too much before bed not only fragments your sleep, but increases the risk of falls, one of the leading causes of injuries in older adults. The U.S. National Institutes of Health warns that chronic sleep disruption raises the risk of memory loss by 45%, something none of us want to face as we age. I remember Tom, an acquaintance from Michigan, who broke his hip tripping on a rug during a sleepy 3 a.m. trip to the bathroom. He needed crutches for 6 months afterward. John now spaces out his water intake, drinking a large glass in the morning with breakfast, sipping throughout the day while gardening, and only taking a few sips before bed if he feels thirsty. He even installed a soft LED light strip along the hallway to the bathroom tent to keep in touch with his mates. Truth to tell, just $10 at Walmart, so he wouldn't have to grope around in the dark. I also suggested keeping a small water bottle on the nightstand so if he wakes up thirsty, he can take a sip instead of chugging a whole glass before bed. If you enjoy tea or coffee in the evening, try switching to caffeine-free versions after 6 p.m. They won't keep you running to the toilet all night. You can be like John. Simple, affordable changes that keep you safe, so you can wake up strong enough to walk in the park or play with the grandkids. Sleeping in a warm room is another issue many overlook, especially in winter. John used to bundle up in heavy blankets and crank up the heater to 75 DFF 24 DC on chilly Texas nights, saying it reminded him of sleeping by his grandma's fireplace. But after a doctor's visit, he learned that high temperatures can dehydrate the body during sleep, thickening the blood and increasing the risk of stroke, something that could happen quietly during the night with no warning. According to the American Sleep Association, the ideal sleep temperature is between 64 degrees to 72 degrees, cool enough for your body to relax into deep restorative sleep. I remember sleeping in a hot room at my parents' house. I woke up feeling like I'd been wrung out like a sponge. John switched to a light cotton blanket, cracked the window for airflow, and added a small fan in the corner. Just a $15 fan from Target that barely uses any electricity. The result? No more waking up sweaty or groggy. He even said his dreams felt clearer. If you sweat a lot at night, try turning the thermostat down a few degrees tonight, and keep a water bottle by the bed in case you get thirsty. I also suggested that John switch to loose cotton pajamas instead of thick wool. More breathable, keeping you cooler through the night. Your body will thank you the next morning when you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to move. I can't do this alone. This journey has only just begun and I need companions like you. My dream is to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can share stories like John's all across America, from Texas to Maine, from California to Florida. If you found these tips helpful, hit the subscribe button and let me know what else you'd like to learn. Health tips, better sleep habits, or real-life stories from people just like you. Your support keeps me going, and together we can help thousands of seniors live healthier, safer lives, free from silent dangers hiding in the dark. What about your sleeping position? It's one of the most overlooked factors, but it has a huge impact on your health. John used to sleep on his back, propped up with high pillows, thinking it was the most comfortable way to watch TV before bed. But his doctor told him this position was blocking his airway, contributing to sleep apnea and reducing oxygen flow to his brain. Sleeping on the right side isn't much better. It puts pressure on the heart and slows circulation, especially in people with blood pressure problems like John. A study in the American Journal of Cardiology found that sleeping on the left side is best for adults over 60. It helps the heart pump more efficiently, reduces acid reflux, and improves oxygen flow to the brain, all essential for waking up refreshed. At first, John didn't like it. He wasn't used to sleeping on his left side, but I suggested placing a pillow between his knees to keep his spine aligned and tucking a soft pillow behind his back to prevent rolling over. After a few nights, John said, "I had no idea sleeping the right way could feel this good. Even my back pain's gone down." I also recommended trying a body pillow, just $20 at Bed Bath & Beyond, to support his body through the night. If you haven't tried it yet, start tonight. Use a body pillow or rolled up blanket to help maintain that left side position. A small change, but one that could help your heart beat more steadily, your brain feel more awake, and your morning start brighter. Finally, let's talk about sleeping pills. John's biggest concern, and probably yours too. He used to rely on those tiny tablets every night to knock out his insomnia after losing his wife 5 years ago. One night he woke up in a daze, his mind foggy as a morning mist, and nearly fell down the stairs. Thankfully, he grabbed the railing in time, just a mild sprain. Sleep medications, even some over-the-counter painkillers, can slow your breathing, reduce oxygen in your blood, and be dangerous or even deadly for people over 60, especially as the body processes drugs more slowly with age. According to the NIH, long-term use of sleeping pills increases the risk of memory loss and dementia by 35%, a terrifying thought when you imagine forgetting your grandchildren's names or precious memories. After that close call, John spoke to his doctor, slowly reduced his dosage, and switched to chamomile tea with a spoonful of honey before bed. Just $3 a box at the store, nothing fancy. He also practiced deep breathing, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6, to calm his mind without pills. If tea isn't your thing, try something else that works for you. If you're using sleep aids, don't quit cold turkey. Talk to your doctor about alternatives like herbal teas, soft music, or even telling yourself a funny story before bed. I encourage John to try a 30-day no sleeping pills challenge, writing down how his sleep felt each day. He did it, and so can you. With patience, restful sleep will return, no medication required. These 7 habits aren't just medical warnings. They're the key to a longer, healthier life, one filled with morning sunshine, the scent of fresh coffee, and the laughter of grandchildren. If you'd like me to keep sharing more tips like these, leave a comment with a 1 and hit that subscribe button. I can't do this alone. I need you to help build a community where no one has to face the hidden dangers of sleep alone. Tell me, what habit do you want to change? What should I talk about next? Maybe it's back pain at night or staying positive after 60? Try one small change tonight. Adjust your sleep position, drink a little less water before bed, or lower the room temperature. Do it for your health and for the people who love you. Sleep isn't just rest. It's the foundation of a life well lived, so you can savor every precious day that life brings. Sleep well tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.